How do we make it stick? Anybody want to know how you make it stick? I had this most amazing conversation, 6-mile walk with a friend, and it was something I was working on myself personally, but then it happened to come up. We started talking about it in conversation, and she had the most unique, wonderful perspective on how to make something stick. So let me set the stage here for just a second. Okay. So I was walking my dog this morning, okay? Walking my newfound dog I stole from the pound. And Duke got the rope, his leash, wrapped around his foot. So usually he'll get it like wrapped around like one front leg. But this time he got it like wrapped around his front leg, and then he had it like 2 times around his back leg. And I was like, dude, what's happening? Well, while he's got it wrapped around his back leg, now he sees a squirrel. So there's a squirrel on the tree, okay? And this is like a farm dog. And so he's like, oh my gosh, got to get the squirrel. So he's looking at the squirrel and he wants to go get it, and he's pulling as hard as he can. I was like, dude, you're hurting my back. So he's pulling as hard as he can to try to go get the squirrel, okay? And I'm like, stop, because as he pulls, it cinches harder around his leg. So he's pulling, but yet he can't go anywhere because I'm like, you're going to break your leg. And he just keeps pulling because he was so focused on the squirrel that he wasn't paying any attention to the fact that this was wrapped around his leg. And as that happened, and I got him undone, keep walking, and I was thinking, how often do we do that? Now think about this and apply it to our lives. We want something. We want our goal. We want to feel better. We want our relationships to be great. We want romance. We want money. We want the squirrel. Right? And we see it and we're trying to go after it and we're lunging and we're frothing at the mouth and we're so excited and we're trying to go get the thing. Right? We're trying to go get what it is that we really want. And it's not that we don't want it. It's that we want it so badly that we're just running right after it. And what we're not stopping to do is to recognize what's tied around our leg. What is tied around your leg? What is your representation of the leash tied around your leg, where every time you try to go get the thing, you're feeling this tug backward? You're not allowing yourself. You're not allowed, but you're not allowing yourself, and we're going to talk about this, to be able to get the squirrel, to get that thing, because you don't stop long enough to untie what's around your leg. You follow me? I don't see a lot of faces here today. I'd love to see some cameras on, you guys, so I can see some cute faces. Oh, there's a face, Mirna, love it. All right. I'm like, I got to see if this lands. I can't see if it lands if I can't see faces, people. All right. So what is the thing tied around our leg, and how do we get rid of it? How do we get rid of it? Now, you've probably tried positive affirmations all day long. Have we? Who has that written on the mirrors? I do. We've got the positive affirmations. Okay, here's what landed for me that I'm going to share with you. When we have a negative thought, okay, we have a negative thought or pattern, we're trying to combat that with a positive thought. So you're trying to flip it. Oh, I woke up, I'm being negative, or I think negative about this. And then you're like, oh, think positive. Let me pull out my affirmations and I'm going to think positive. Yes? And it works temporarily. It works temporarily. We can I call that we're talking ourselves into it. You're trying to shift your energy. You're trying to shift how you feel. And so you're talking yourself into it. Doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it's temporary. It is not taking the leash off from around your leg. It is maybe letting up a little bit, but you're not stopping to go, what's actually tied around my leg so I can go get the squirrel. So the reason we're not doing that, or why it's not working, is because you notice the negative thoughts that you might be having. You notice what's happening that you don't like. Okay? but we don't notice the patterns that we're in and where those patterns have come from. The pattern is the leash around your leg. The pattern is something and built on experiences. So really our patterns are based on experiences we've had. And what's happening is you are trying to thought your way out of experiences. Experiences are evidence. And you're trying to tell yourself, just forget about all the evidence. Let's forget the leashes around my leg. Let's just forget that. And let's just be like, no, I can do this. Yes, let's get that. Let's get it, right? You're trying to just thought your way out of it. And this is the part that blew my mind I want to share with you. If you have a stack of experiences, that does not equal, you cannot cancel that out. When you talk about what is this? Okay, I'm so not like a math nerd or a wizard or even remember any of this stuff, but we know that when we do math, right? I'm gonna pull this forward here. We know that when we do math, that it has to balance. When you're doing, actually my favorite math was algebra. Algebra was my favorite. Forget geometry, shapes, things, whatever. But algebra I loved. Algebra I loved because you were trying to solve to make the things, we'll just say 3, like you're trying to solve to make sure that this is equal on each side, correct? When you're doing algebra, y'all remember that? X plus blah, blah, blah equals blah, 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 and then you like all the things. But we're trying to make it equal on both sides. That's how you solve a problem in algebra. Okay, when we're trying to solve our problems, what's happening is we have experience over here, stacks of it. Stacks of experience, lifelong experience. So often experience from when we were 5, all the way on up, okay? So we have...
And it's still kind of like pneumatic.
Oh, we need that muted. Okay, so we have all this experience that's stacked, and what we're trying to do is positive thought stack and somehow make this balance. You follow me? That is never going to equal each other. You cannot thought stack your way out of the experiences that you've had. So then you're like, Lisa, now what? Because that's what we've been taught. Thank you, Mel Robbins and everybody who's telling, Tony, all the Robbins. Let's go. Let's thought stack our way out of it. Okay, we can't do that because it's never going to equal. So how do we get to this where we can equal on each side? Well, if we have our negative experience, because we do call them negative experiences. We have in our head the replays that we've talked about where you have reels running in your head about all the things that have happened. That's providing evidence for you for why it's not going to work or happen in the future. And the more we focus on the negative experience here, that's where we're going to stay. That's the energetic state that we're going to be in, and that's what we're going to continue to see. So, we over here have to have the positive experiences stacked because then they will equal each other. You will start to now get into this positive energetic state because you are now balancing out what's happened and what is going to happen or what is now currently happening. What's happened in the past versus what you want happening or what is happening for you now. Okay? So how do we do that? Like, how do we balance? Because we know we can't do it by thought work. We have to do it by experience. It has to cancel each other out. So, what does that look like? It looks like this. An overflow list, an abundance list. What it looks like is you starting to recognize the positive things. And we talk about like a gratitude journal, but I'm talking about on the smallest like scale, what it is that we recognize every day. what it is that we recognize every day. We are so trained and default to what we see that's gone wrong. And you need to create a default to start to see what is going right. We're always in defense mode. We're always in protective mode. Well, what happens is when we go into protective mode because something happened, right? That negative experience happened. And so we start to go into protective mode. Well, when you're in protective mode, you guys, you can't let the good in either. You're trying to keep the bad out so it doesn't happen again. But at the same time, you are stopping from receiving the good. I am guilty as charged. This is why I'm teaching you this lesson. Y'all get lessons from me every time by something I've had to learn too. So I'm telling you, if you think, I want you to think about that. What does self-protective mode look like for you? Y'all know what it feels like. It looks like the shutdown. It looks like the guarded. I have my hands up right in front of me like a big circle because you know what that is. You know what that feels like. But when we source from that, then we are not allowing good to come to us either. And we may get big good things. We're definitely still going to see good things that happen. But if you want to live in overflow and you want to live in abundance and you want to have an extraordinary life and you really want to live your life in the positive experience, we have to start stacking the positive experiences. You have to start stacking them. So, okay, I'm going to tell you just this morning. I'm like, okay, positive experience list. Here we go, right? So every day, by the way, every day, this is how you're going to create this positive stack to offset the negative experiences, the positive experience stack. You have to recognize the things that are happening every day. Every day. So overflow and abundance. This is my list in my phone. And I'm going to continue to write every day, everything that I notice. Down to you got a good parking spot. We just think that it was luck. You call so many things luck. And you will not accept that it's a blessing or that it's overflow from God. You're just like, oh, so glad things didn't go terrible today. Well, that's not sourcing from good energy. So today I was like, okay, I woke up. I could have complained, by the way, because I woke up earlier than I ever loved to. However, I woke up not to an alarm. I woke up because there were birds going and there was sunshine. So I'm like, I woke up to birds and sunshine. How amazing is that instead of waking up to a really obnoxious alarm? Do we see where we could go either direction? You need to look at yourself and say, which direction do you usually go? Do you default to, man, the dang birds woke me up and I didn't get to sleep an extra 30 minutes? Or do we look at, I got to wake up to birds and sunshine. What an amazing alarm clock. What an amazing alarm clock. And then I said, wonderful prayers this morning. I sourced from great energy and had wonderful prayer this morning. And then I went outside because I just got back from Denver last night. And my dog that I stole from the pound was so happy to see me. He missed me. And so I was happy to see him. And we got to go for a wonderful walk. And then on my walk, I got a voice message from my great friend Grant. And I got to hear from him. And then I stopped and I took some deep breaths and I let the sunshine hit my face. And I was like, it's going to be a great day today. Now, I'll tell you, my day is stacked today. I haven't stacked a day like this in a very long time. It is stacked and I will be hustling my butt until probably 7 o'clock tonight. So I could be like, oh my gosh, my day is so packed that I'm not going to get to take a nap, or I'm not going to get to rest, or I'm not going to, whatever. I could go that way, right? That's the negative. That, when we see which way we're flipping, and I'm giving you that example because that so has been me. Like, ugh, right? Looking at and sourcing from the negative because I was feeding off of the negative stacks. Instead, take some deep breaths, have the sunshine, and I'm like, I am grateful I have energy this morning. This is great. I'm going to soak it in. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to source it. Then I'm like, On my walk, I'm like, okay, it's going to be an abundant day. I am looking for overflow. I am looking for abundance. It's all going to come. It's an amazing day. I expect it to happen. Halfway through my walk, I get a phone call from a coaching client who wants to hire me to coach him. Abundance, overflow, not surprising, created, and allowed. Because I'm open and I'm allowing it. Now, in order to be open, so does that land? Number one, we getting what I'm dishing out here? You picking up what I'm putting down, as my builder likes to say? Okay, good. In order to get to that place, start making the list, number one. But recognize where you have that leash tied around your leg and you don't want to let go of it. In order to get clear, in order to be able to receive, you have to also let go of things. In order to get that squirrel, which is the overflow and abundance. Overflow and abundance isn't just the one deal, isn't just another listing. Think about it in a really big way. Overflow and abundance is everything that comes to you every day. Everything that you've created and that you're accepting, and not just that you've created, but that you have coming to you every day. It's there. God has it waiting for you. He has the squirrel waiting for you, and you've got this leash tied around your leg, and you're not allowing yourself to receive it. You follow what I'm saying? It's not him holding us back from receiving. It is all laid out and ready for you, people. It is all laid out and ready. And whatever you have that you don't want to let go of, it's going to be individual for every person. But whatever you have that you don't want to let go of, that's the thing stopping you. It's not because the universe doesn't want you to have it. It's not because you don't deserve it. It's not because God doesn't want you to have it. So your homework is to identify what the leash is around your leg. Okay? Identify what is tied around your leg stopping you from getting what you want. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is you have got to create your overflow list every day until it becomes an automatic unconscious behavior. Right now, for me, it has to be a conscious behavior. It's been a wild year and a half. And for me, it has to be a conscious behavior until it becomes automatic. Are you a real estate agent and you got in this business to help people, but yet you're trying everything and it's not working, and all you wanted to do was serve people? If you are a heart-centered realtor and you want to have a thriving real estate business, but you're not sure where to go, what to do, and you keep trying all the gadgets and shiny things in different ways, and all you're doing is spending a lot of money and spinning your wheels, then I've got the solution for you. It is the High Profit Agent Fix. Inside the High Profit Agent Fix, it is a complete business plan, start to finish, and everything in between. The words you say, what you do, to have clients flocking to you, staying with you, so you build a repeatable business full of referral clients and repeat clients. That's what everybody wants, so that you stop having to pay for advertising and you start serving, which is what you got in this business to do in the first place. If this sounds like you, then this is a solution. Go to highprofitagentfix.com and sign up today to get the solution to what you really want, which is to serve and to make money and to make the impact that you want and support your family, and do it all from a loving, wonderful, exciting, happy place, because it gets to be joyful. It doesn't get to be frustrating. It actually gets to be joyful. If that's not what you're experiencing, step on up to High Profit Agent Fix, because that's what you get to experience with me in the High Profit Agent Fix. So right this moment, this is your wake-up call where you maybe didn't know you had a leash around your leg. Who can say that? Like, oh yeah, I've got a leash around my leg and I didn't know it. Yes, Mari. You have something. Mine was value oriented. Mine was not really deep-seating knowing my value. How can I go get that squirrel of other people valuing me if I don't value myself? If I'm holding myself back with a leash tied around my leg, and every time I lunge to try to go really want value because I know I want it, I thought worked my way into it, right? I did all positive affirmations. They're all over my mirror, and I want to go get the thing. But the leash around my leg was I wasn't valuing myself. So where's the deep hard work? It's in me. It's not in anything outside of me. And it's the same thing for you. You don't need anyone else to change anything that they do for you to take that leash off your leg. That is for you. That is work for you. You don't need circumstances to change. You don't need spouses to change. You don't need kids to change. You don't need your bank account to change. You don't need anything to change for you to be able to let go and receive. But that is why it's up to you, and that is the hard work. That is the deep, hard work that you have to do. And it takes work. So put it in because it's life-changing. And you may have to, like, as my coach said to me, she's like, you are making me work so hard. I'm having to pull out all the stops. And I was like, so good. I'm glad I can challenge you. Because sometimes she has to come at something from so many different angles until I will get it. So there's no judgment ever if it takes you some time to get it. Okay, the leash just doesn't come off like this. You don't go like, oh yeah, this is exactly why I'm doing it. Let's just take it off and move on. There's lessons inside what it is that you're doing that you can learn. And when you learn those lessons, you can take it off and let it go. And then you can move on. But you haven't been woken up yet to the lessons that you need to learn because you're not looking for them. Because we're looking for our experiences and we continue looking back at all the things that have happened. But if you look at what you are currently in, whatever's happening for you right now, and you look, this is what I'm in right now, and what can I learn from this? Or what's happening to me? And how am I behaving? What's going on for me? And once you do that, you start to have awareness around your own behavior, where it's coming from, why you're doing it. And no longer will you say, oh, but, right? Well, when I was X amount of age, or in my marriage, or in my this, or this happened to me. It doesn't matter. What are you in? What can you learn from it? Because you guys, what's so amazing is every experience that you have, it bumps you up against you. It's a reflective mirror. So if you go to do an appointment and something happens and you're like, did not love that, you walk away with like, oh my gosh, that wasn't great. I want you to go, why wasn't that great? What was I feeling? What was the emotion I was having? What was happening for me? And then you can start to recognize where do I need growth? What's my lesson here? Where do I need growth? Where do I need growth? The best experience, I keep relating this to, which it's universal, by the way. But as I was talking to Grant Moeller, I got to go to Denver and have dinner with Grant Moeller. And we had the most amazing conversation for a few hours. And I kept relating, he wasn't getting out of business. We were working on his model for his business. And he wouldn't like get himself outside of it. And so I took him out of it and I gave him relationship examples. Thank you, relationships. Am I having a lot of fun in the dating world? Does it feel painful sometimes? Sure as hell does. However, what am I learning inside of it? That's what it's teaching me. What am I learning about myself inside of these relationships? Well, your relationships with people at work, with your clients, with your family, with yourself, when you go to perform, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's me trying to date. It's just really in my face right now. That's how I'm learning. But everything you go out and do, it is also in your face, and it is a mirror reflecting back to you where you need growth. So instead of looking at it, something happens and you look at it like there's something wrong with me, or this didn't go right, which again puts us back to this negative experience. Of course it didn't go right. Things don't work well for me, or whatever our internal dialogue might be. I'm never going to find a husband. It's all piece of garbage, right? Whatever our negative experience thought pattern is that we have, if you're mounting evidence for that, you are missing the blessing of that reflection and where you can grow. Because every experience you have every single day will show you where you need to grow. That's the blessing of living life. Absolute blessing of living life. So don't discount it. Don't not see it. And that's how you're going to start to have and live in abundant life and positivity. But you are generating that, creating that, and you are also, what's the word I was thinking? You are creating and training. That's what it is. You're training yourself. You're training your brain. It's the training method. We train everything else. Why are we not training our brain? Train your brain. Look for the abundance. Look for the overflow. All right? Okay. Amazing. I thank you for being with me today. By the way, thank you for coming and being with me today. I'm not going to put you in breakout groups today because we're already at 10:30 and I took more time today. And I love you all. And somebody had a hand up and a question. So I'm going to take that question today. Who was? I don't usually do that on these calls. Was it Kelly?
Yeah, that was me, Lisa.
All right, Kelly, bring it on. What you got?
I just wanted an example of what your leash was around your neck, but you gave it. So
Oh, look at that. I got you. Yeah,
thank you.
but I will tell you, Kelly, so that's a wonderful question, and I appreciate that. That is only one leash that has been around my leg. So here's what's going to happen. It's like whack-a-mole. You're going to have one leash around your leg, and then you're going to get rid of that and let it go. And then you're going to bump up against yourself, right? In in life every day. And then you're going to notice another leash that you had around your leg. So it's not an end goal. When we talk about how we develop ourselves and how we continue to become more than we ever thought we could be, it's all about iterations. It's all about our ascension path. When you listen to my ascension training, it's about ascending, right? So we are incrementally growing when we take that one leash off and let it go. That was one leash, which was value. That actually too, you guys, I felt like a freaking rock star. I'm just going to tell you. So it took me, my coach had left me about 15 minutes of messages. Okay. We box her back and forth. And she's like trying to come at a different angle from me letting something go. And I had to listen. I was on a plane for 2 hours. I listened to the same 15 minutes of messages for the entire 2 hours. That shows you how stubborn and how I have to be able to like wrap my head around it in order to let it go. And we've been working on this for a couple weeks. So as I'm listening to these messages, I'm like, okay, listen, rewind. And I was taking notes. And I have about 6 pages of notes in my journal now of, okay, what am I hearing? What am I learning? What am I doing? And I just keep writing down. I got off the plane and I was like, I get it. I felt like I was like reborn baptized getting off my plane, you guys. It was like this out of body experience. And I was like, I'm going to have the most amazing relationship because I am never going to compromise. I am never going to compromise. Therefore, I'm going to have the most amazing relationship because I'm never going to compromise me. I'm never going to compromise what I want. And I was like freaking rock star status getting off my plane. And then it was like, like let it go. I let it go. because I had this now positive, right? Positive, not just thought, but like positive, like I could envision now. I'm like, yes, it's going to be so great. So if you can't keep up with this, and this isn't a win-win, and you want me to compromise myself, take a freaking hike. That's not the way I'm living my life. Okay, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to keep you longer now. Now that you asked the question, you're getting more. You ready? Okay, so this was the progression. This was for me. Watch yourself and see how it works for you. I was 3 weeks of resistance. Resistance is the leash around my leg. 3 freaking weeks of resistance. I learned some lessons inside of that. But then when I finally let it go, and I walked off the plane rock star status, you guys, I was like open. And I was like, I don't compromise. I don't compromise. So then I get a phone call from a client. It was a couple days later, but I get a phone call from this client. I've worked with him before. He is the most bartering. He's from another country that always like barters you down, beats you to death. Okay. Here's what was so cool. He calls me and he said, hey, I need you to sell my house for me. Gives me some information. I said, okay. And he said, and then what do you charge? We get to the what do you charge part. And I told him what percent I charge. Oh, I can tell, whatever. I said, I'll charge you 5%. He's a past client of mine. That's what I charge, okay, for past clients. So I'll charge you 5%. He goes, 4%? And I said, no, 5%. And he goes, 4%? 5%'s a lot. And then he proceeds to say why. And I said, you can hire somebody else for 4%, and they can take longer, and they can get you less money. Or you can hire me for 5%. It's up to you. And he goes, okay, 5%, and then we'll see you. And then we set our time to meet today, this afternoon. That's not the point that I want to give you. I hung up the phone. It was like yesterday morning, actually. Hung up the phone. And about 20 minutes later, I went, oh my gosh, that was automatic. Now, when I say that, and it was automatic, usually the way I would have behaved was he would say 4% and I would consider it. I would consider compromising myself and my value. And I didn't. I automatically, because I had my breakthrough, and now I embody and I have arrived at that peace, it was automatic. I said those words, I said it with confidence, I thought nothing of it. I used to physically have some reaction when somebody comes at you and I didn't really believe my value. I would kind of physically shrink. And I would consider compromising. I didn't realize I was doing it. So there's things that we don't realize that we're doing, but because we've been doing them for so long, we are not awake to them. Do you follow me? Until we have it pointed out, until we have an experience, until we really pay attention to what's in front of us and that mirror that's reflecting to us, that's the greatest gift that you can have, is any of these experiences that feel maybe hard in the moment, but they're opportunities. They're opportunities for you to see, what's this leash that's around my leg? Because see how I'm reacting to this? This doesn't feel good. Why doesn't it feel good? What's going on? And I had recognized my value issue about 3 weeks ago. But it took me a little while to really get it. And having a coach, you guys, that's why you have coaches. We can't see sometimes what's happening or what we're doing until we have an outside perspective. So a friend to walk with, a coach, a good thought partner, not somebody who lives in a low vibrational frequency that's a complainer. You don't want that. You want the person who is open and hearing what's going on and reflecting back to you what they're hearing from you. That's what you want. But when you let it go, then you're open to receive. And I've had 2 other amazing experiences just after more than that, you guys. You have no idea what's coming. No freaking idea what's coming that just was unlocked in the last 4 days of my life since I got off that plane and I let it go. And I embodied my value. So lean on that, hear me say that, because that is available to every single one of you. It is out there and it is waiting. We just love focusing on the squirrel and keeping that leash around our leg. We don't know what we're doing to ourselves. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Go kill it this week. Have an amazing week. And all these replays, by the way, will be on the podcast eventually. I just got my podcast guy this week. So you'll be able to re-listen to the Momentum Mondays on the podcast. All right? Okay. Love you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. And San, I will answer your, let's see, what time is it? Okay, San, I will answer your question real quick.
Oh, I didn't have a question. I just had a comment about what you just said. Last week was very challenging for me. I had lost a listing, but I know it wasn't because of my skill sets or anything, because I've done all I could. I've done what I was supposed to do, but it just goes to show I had to kind of recalibrate and just kind of sit back and say what I could have done better with that listing, because you lose some listings, you win some, you lose some. It's just a part of the business that we're in. But it just made me realize that hey, God got something better. I just have to keep it moving. And so I just kept a positive attitude and did the things I need to do, and I'm moving forward, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah, be amazing with it, because when you let go of something that maybe wasn't a good fit, right? Maybe it was a client that was going to suck up your life and be really complicated. Who knows? Then we can be open to receive what's coming next, right? But if we stay, so that's a really great example, because if we stay, how long do we stay in the pit? How long do we stay down in the pit before we decide to rise up and grow from it and be open and ready to receive what's coming next? Make sense? So that's why we don't stay in the pit very long. Stay in it to learn. If there's a lesson inside of it, learn the lesson inside of it, and then we want to move out of the pit so that we can get that leash off and move to the next level of growth. And if there's something, Sam, that's reflecting to you, I would invite you now, after we've just had this training, I want you to relook at, from an outside, like you're in an airplane looking down, to the entire experience that you had, because that's all it was an experience. And it wasn't anything that you lost. Okay, you didn't lose a listing. It was an experience that you had with a person needing to sell their house. What is it that you could learn about yourself through that? Not about the listing, because here's the thing, guys. It's not about listing presentations. It's not about the words that we say. It's about the way that we behave when we're approaching it. So what can you learn about yourself from that situation, from that experience? That's your challenge. Because that helps you with your growth. And just like you saw with me, right? It had nothing to do with relationships or how I talked to somebody or what I could have done different or that I lost something. None of that. It had to do with me. All me. And who I'm embodying, like who I am. And literally, I have 2 more listings and a date next week, and like more things open up, right? When you allow them to. Mari's like, a date? What? I know, stop. Mari likes to follow my love life. It's great. Oh, and I booked my trip to Italy. Boom. And I started writing my book. Boom. And we're going to have a conference in October. Boom. We got all the freaking plans, guys. All the plans. In 4 days, because I was allowing myself to let go and receive. Okay? All right. Love you guys. Have a wonderful week. Hey, real estate agents, start your week with momentum. Momentum Monday is your free 30-minute power session to ignite your week, sharpen your focus, and elevate your results. Every Monday, you can join a community of high-performing agents who refuse to coast and choose to lead with intention. In just 30 minutes, you will set crystal clear intentions to dominate your week, and you'll learn high-energy strategies that create immediate wins for you. This is not another meeting, it's an intentional strategy session to refocus, recharge, and reignite your drive before the week runs away from you. Whether you're closing deals, generating new leads, or scaling your business, Momentum Monday gives you the clarity, confidence, and community to make it happen. Shake it up, do something new. Start your Monday with momentum. Click below to join for free and experience the results for yourself. I'll see you on the inside.